Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Friday, the end of another week. It means we're nearly 1 week closer to the Premier League returning. Only got, 8 days left of the international break before the Premier League returns, although a little bit longer for Arsenal because annoyingly we've got to wait till Monday night for that Crystal Palace game. Hate Monday nights, really bugs me. Then you got Friday night for the Villa game straight after that, so I think one of the good things about not qualifying for Europe this season, we thought, we'll get some nice Saturday 3 o'clock games. Not to be when Sky Sports are around. Anyway, let's quickly talk about a few things today. A little bit of news floating around, not too much, so I won't take up too much of your time. Mikel Arteta celebrating today, having been named Premier League's Manager of the Month for September. 3 wins out of 3 games, 5 goals scored, 1 goal conceded, 9 points out of 9. He wins the Manager of the Month award. Not a bad turnaround considering what happened in the first 3 games of the Premier League season. Couldn't be more opposite, in fact. And he's been speaking about that. He said, I think this award represents the way that everyone has been together, has been working and has been positive in difficult moments and continue to do their work with the right mentality, the right ambition, and with the right work and direction. So this award is for them. I get it, but it's for all the people behind it. So Arteta very gracious there in accepting that award. Must be a good moment, a good feeling for him, given all the criticism came his way. Deservedly so as well for that awful start to the season that Arsenal have had. They've certainly turned it around. Wouldn't say the football's been brilliant, barring that 45 minutes against Spurs, so that's something certainly to build on after the international break. But you can't really complain about those performances and those results, certainly in September. 9 points out of 9. Obviously, Brighton has happened since then, which was in October, so they drew that one. But still 10 points out of a possible 12 since that awful start to the season. Not too bad, and Arteta certainly rewarded for the work he's done. So credit to him, well done to him. Hopefully he can keep it up, and more importantly, the team can keep it up when they get back from the international break, because Arsenal certainly need to get more points because they're still playing catch up after that horrible start to the season. Obviously, a lot of players away on international duty at the moment. I did touch on yesterday's video. Arsenal had that behind closed doors friendly at London Colney against QPR that they won 3-2. But plenty of players away with the senior international teams or with the junior international teams. And one of those, Nuno Tavares, who had a very good night for Portugal under 21s last night, scored 1, set up 2. Absolutely thumping win it was, 11-0 against Liechtenstein. I'm not too sure what Portugal are going to learn from that. Not too sure what Liechtenstein are going to learn from that. But anyway, still a good night. I think he scored the first goal, actually, Tavares. A nice finish, as you would expect, coming in from the left-hand side, smashing it in. 2 assists as well. I haven't actually seen one of them, but the one that I have seen is a fantastic cross from the left, and it'll be putting a bit of pressure on Kieran Tierney soon. I don't think Tierney's exactly started the season in his best form yet, by any means. Tavares obviously very good in that game against AFC Wimbledon. I thought he was man of the match in that, continuing on that good form with his performance for Portugal. So I wouldn't think that Kieran Tierney's going to be sweating too much on his place at the moment, but certainly Tavares doing his job, having arrived at Arsenal and beginning to put a little bit pressure on Tierney for that left-back spot, and certainly showing that he's an able deputy should he be needed. And I imagine he'll definitely play again against Leeds in the next round of the Carabao Cup. I think that's towards the end of October. He'll certainly be involved then, and he just looks a decent player, I think, Tavares. I've been really impressed with him. All the attributes that people that I'd spoken to in Portugal about him when he signed are very, very clear. He's very athletic, he's very strong. He's got an excellent engine, so he can get up and down the pitch very well. His left foot is excellent. He's technically pretty good. He's really strong on his right foot when he cuts in from the left-hand side as well, which is everything that everyone told me about him. And also everyone said he's very raw and he will make mistakes, and he's young, and his positioning defensively is not the best. And again, I think we've seen that at times in the rare moments we've seen him on the pitch at Arsenal. But he looks like a talented young player, and for £8 million, I don't think you can complain too much. And I think he's had a very decent start to life at Arsenal, and fair play to him. He had a very decent night last night, so congratulations, well done to Nuno Tavares. One player who didn't perhaps have as good a night as Nuno was Emile Smith-Rowe, who had a very frustrating night on international duty last night with England under 21s. 2-0 up they were, looked to be cruising against Slovenia in their European Championship qualifier, ended up drawing 2-2, dropping 2 really crucial points in that qualifying campaign. They're third in their league now. behind the Czech Republic and Albania. Frustrating night for Smith Rowe. He played the full 90 minutes, didn't have the best of games. Did have a late chance, which he, I think, was saved. Didn't quite take advantage of it. And there was one point I did see in the first half where he whipped in a ball, which was a decent crossing. Could well have set up a goal, didn't. But yeah, frustrating night on the whole for Emile Smith Rowe. Frustrating result and not his best performance. Didn't really get into the game as we probably were expecting him to. And yeah, disappointing one for him. Tyrese John Jules and Folarin Balogun both came on as second half substitutes. So Arsenal finished the game with 3 players on the pitch there for England under 21s, but none of them could get on target. And yeah, frustrating night all round. So a very good night for Nuno Tavares with Portugal. Not quite such a good night for Emile Smith Rowe, Folarin Balogun, and Tyrese John Jules for England. One player who could have a big night coming up on international duty between now and the end of the break is Aaron Ramsdale. He's away with England at the moment, yet to make his debut. He was involved during the Euros in the summer, but didn't feature in a game. It didn't start, but there's talk that he might get a start in the next couple of games. We're going to play Andorra tomorrow. England could well be there if they are going to make some changes for the games. They might well do it in that Andorra match rather than the Hungary game. And it would be a big moment for Aaron Ramsdale, and it would certainly cap off a fantastic start to the season for him should he make his international debut. It'd be very deserving as well, considering the performances. Like I said at the start of this, Mikel Arteta has just won Manager a Month for September, and I don't think he would have won that without Aaron Ramsdale's performances and a couple other performances in that defence. Ronaldo got Player of the Month, which I think is a bit of a surprise. I know he scored 3 goals and there was a big sort of fanfare about his return, but I'm not sure about Ronaldo being Player of the Month for September, I have to admit. For someone like Ramsdale, certainly would have been in with a shout for the performances he had. And he conceded the 1 goal late on against Spurs, made some really big saves, and certainly justified that price tag that Arsenal paid him, or started to justify that price tag that Arsenal paid for him. He's been speaking about starts to the season, and he says... and England as well. He's asked, do you think you could be England number 1? He says, I have the self-belief, yes, I could hold down that position. First and foremost, I have to get in the team, and that's one of my goals at the moment. I'm just trying to learn and take it step by step over time, and that is one of my aspirations. It has been possibly the best month I could have wished for. It is not something I expected so soon. I believed in my ability to get into the Arsenal team, but I thought it would take a while transitioning into the way they played, new teammates, and get into the team and helping them out. Certainly been a very, very whirlwind start to life at Arsenal for Aaron Ramsdale. I did expect him to move Leno out of that number 1 swap, but as Ramsdale himself says, I didn't expect him to do it so quickly. I think the way Arsenal started the season certainly helped him, and all the goals they conceded, it felt like Arteta had to make a change during that first international break to try and change things, shake things up. He did that by bringing Ramsdale in for Leno and changing the defence, and it's had a very, very positive impact. And Ramsdale's just been a breath of fresh air since he's come in. Performances on the pitch have been great, yet to make a mistake. But it's not just about his performances, his character, his attitude. It's all just been, as I said, a bit of a breath of fresh air, and you can really see that the teammates like having him around. And he's done excellently, Aaron Ramsdale, and it'd be great to see him get his England debut, possibly tomorrow night. And he talked a little bit more about Arsenal and what Arsenal want to achieve, what he wants to achieve, and it's what he had to say. Quite interesting, I thought. He said, you can sense it as soon as you walk through the doors that the club isn't happy where they are. We want European football. It's a young team, so it's step by step. It might have to be the Europa League and then the Champions League, but we want to get back there. You understand the pressures that brings, but it's an enjoyable challenge, and when there are highs, they're really high. Around the training ground, you see the history, the players that they've played here with their unique numbers, as we have with England. You've got the invincibles on the walls everywhere, so you understand the history of the football club. It's now our time for us to put some new history on the wall. Great talker, Aaron Ramsdale. Every time I see him in an interview, he looks great, and they're top quality comments. I think they're not just your average football comments. Just comes across as a player who really wants to achieve, and he very much understands the history at Arsenal, and he wants to put his own mark and history on that football club. And just been a really good positive signing for me, Aaron Ramsdale, and I've really liked what I've heard from him there. And hopefully, fingers crossed, he gets his England debut. And if he does, he performs well. What I'm really intrigued about Ramsdale, we haven't seen it yet, but we will, no doubt about it. He's a young goalkeeper, so it's going to happen. And that is what happens when he makes a really big, high-profile error that could cost the team a goal, could cost the team points. Because it will happen. We know it does. It happens with every goalkeeper, the best goalkeepers, let alone young goalkeepers. And it's going to be really intriguing how Ramsdale reacts to that. Does he carry on as confident as he has been and as voiceful and exuberant as he has been, or does he go into his shell a little bit and lose a little bit of that self-confidence that he seems to have arrived with? So that's going to be really intriguing for me, how Ramsdale copes with that first high-profile error, which will no doubt happen at some point pretty soon. But hopefully we have to wait a little bit longer to see that, and he continues to make good saves week in, week out, and he continues to keep clean sheets week in, week out. All right, that's about it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Do have a good weekend if I don't get to do another one between now and Monday. Enjoy the England game if you're watching, or enjoy whatever other game you're watching from wherever you are around the world, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Have a good one.